a dream rules. This is someone else, I'm not myself, no, no.
Hello ladies, we are sitting down to do another roller set, of course. Let me get all this spraying out of the way because I never know how loud some things are. Oof. And let's not spray the camera. I hope that didn't go over to the camera. But anywho, hello, and hope you all are doing well. It's been just a little while since I've done a roller set because I always put extra product around my edges. So most of that white cast is the moisturizer I use, which is the Taraji P. Henson Ride or Die. The setting lotion, which is Lotta Body. I do like 1 part water and about 2 parts of the cream itself. I'm sorry, of the lotion. It's not a cream at all, it's a liquid. They call it setting lotion, but yeah, it is just a liquid, come to think of it. All right, so we've got, hey, we got some more grays than we've had before. Time to start dyeing. I used to dye my hair a nice jet black, but that seemed hard to keep up with. Like sometimes you gotta leave it on for a specified time for it to really come through as black, and other times if you don't, it doesn't come through quite right. How is it? I was gonna say that I always manage to forget something, but I'm in luck. I happen to have a bobby pin right here on my vanity. So we're just gonna pin that right there. But anywho, I haven't done a whole heck of a lot this weekend. I went out, the weekend's over now. We're back on a work night, but I'm just catching you all up. I still forgot something. I forgot my comb, doggone it. My big comb that I used to, detangle my hair. Always something. But anyway, I'm just catching you guys up on some of the stuff that I did over the weekend. Went shopping and all of that. But let me skip straight ahead to what I want to talk about, which is I went to Cooper's Hawk. And I had a good little time at the tasting. I saw, we were surrounded by non-black people. And I don't know if they thought we were all together or how that worked. But you usually, it's a standing area where you do your tasting. You don't really have a seating, because I guess they don't want you to sit there too long and just get flat out drunk. I don't know. But they say throughout those tastings, by the time they're done, you've had a half bottle of wine. I don't think I realized that before. And some of those wines are stronger than others. But anywho, I'm all off subject already and haven't even started the subject. But we go and there's I thought they were a couple, they weren't. Turns out both of them had gone solo, and then I was also solo, making it the third person, and we just so happened to be standing around. But we ended up having some pretty decent conversation. I was surprised to find out that I never did get the guy's age, but if I was ballpark guessing, I would probably say, I don't know, he could have been in his 50s. I don't know, but he said he used to smoke. He recently quit smoking and is doing a healthier lifestyle and all that, and stuff like that ages you, so it's hard to really know. He did have some grays in his beard, but I've seen 30-year-old men have grays in their beard, so I don't really know. But anyway, she, I know, was in her early 40s because she told me, and she was a widow. Like, what? So she's trying to navigate the dating scene as a widow. And she was like, are you single? And I was like, yeah, I am now. I'm, fairly recently divorced. I would not say I've been on the dating scene for the last couple of years, but I've been divorced now. I think it's going on 2 years. I really don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's going on. Yeah, because that's about when I started my channel. So, yeah, that's sad. I know my channel date more so than I know my divorce date. I'm telling you, out of sight, out of sight is really out of mind for me. Whether that's for good or bad or what. But anyway, I was just telling her that, I wouldn't characterize myself as having really been on the dating scene all this time. But I've been out here enough to know enough. And so the guy chimed in and he had some opinions, and he was talking about how hard it is and how, he's looking He's looking for a domesticated woman. I was like, it sounds too much like cats or, dogs or something. The way, and I'm sure he didn't mean it that way, but it didn't quite sound right. And so, of course, she was like, well, what do you mean by that? And he was like, I need someone who knows how to cook, who knows how to clean, who knows how to basically stay in their place, is what I was getting out of it. But somehow she wasn't hearing that. Like, she was hearing job descriptions, excuse me, job descriptions that, she felt like she could kind of answer to. But at the end of it all, the guy apparently had started off his tasting prior to her getting there, and certainly before me, because like I said, I thought they were there together. So anyway, he ends up leaving after a while, and she and I just end up being there and talking, and she was like, see what I mean? Like, that's kind of hard. Here I'm telling him I'm basically a woman that he's asking for, and he didn't ask for my number or any of that stuff. So first of all, when it was the three of us there, it wasn't quite as crowded. Once he left, more people came in and it kind of squished us closer together. And I was surprised because I'm looking at this girl, pretty lady, I thought. I thought she was pretty. Thick. I wouldn't characterize her as at all being fat. She was a thick girl, curvy. All the things I would say are a plus. Some men like skinny women. She was plus. No, I'm not saying plus. Let me back that up. She's not plus. I would say she was about a size 10. Yeah, so do with that what you will. But all of her body measurements and stuff looked to me to be in the right place. Like if I woke up tomorrow and my body looked like hers, I wouldn't be mad at all. Like she was a nice shaped girl, pretty face, just a medium mocha complexion, and a really bright, pretty smile. She ended up telling me later that she had veneers. So I was like, oh wow, it's really, really pretty. Okay, so this doesn't feel quite as moisturized. Let me grab a little bit more moisturizer. Sometimes I feel like I miss some of the spots. We're just gonna put a little here. And if I missed that, I probably missed underneath as well. But anyway, yeah, I thought she was a pretty girl. She said she had veneers, all of that stuff. She works out, something I need to do. I need to get it together. I have been, a sidebar real quick, but I have been lacking serious discipline. And it's so weird. For me, it always has a domino effect. Like, for example, y'all notice I haven't been meal prepping. You ain't seen me do a video meal prepping lately because I haven't been meal prepping. And then once I don't meal prep, I start kind of eating out more and eating worse foods. Like I hardly ever eat a straight up healthy meal when I go out to eat. I just make bad choices. That is a weakness of mine, which is exactly why I should meal prep. But I haven't been meal prepping, so I've been eating poorly. It's been very rainy here in KC, so I haven't been walking. Or I've had to do other things like go to the bank, drop off forms, sign forms, and all of that stuff that have kept me from walking. And walking sincerely just gives me joy. It's the peace of listening to my book. It's the peace of serenity, listening to birds. Just whatever it is, that it actually gives me joy. So I haven't had that joy. Y'all, I haven't even been wearing my retainer. So I have my retainer in here. Oh, don't mind this. I felt this and hit it. So I don't know if it's a bug bite, a pimple, or what. I just know that thing is ginormous. But I've also gained weight. I haven't stepped on the scale to know it, but I can tell some of the clothes that I typically wear that feel very comfortable feel a little more snug now. Like for me, it is a serious domino effect. Like, come on, I can't be bothered to put in my retainer. Like, what in the world is going on with me? So I need to get it together and get my discipline together and all of that stuff. So anyway, this lady was talking about how she works out. No, she's not a personal trainer, but she's hired a trainer that has helped her. And she was like, yeah, I can help you with training and meet your fitness goals and all that stuff too. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually a possibility for us to do that. And I'm one of those people, like if I say I'm going to be in touch or something, I actually mean it. Unless I'm on my fall off game, such as the case with just about everything else I'm doing right now. So I also haven't been calling back friends as much as I would want to. There we go. Let's just make sure we got that all moisturized. But back to hers in my conversation when we were talking. Nope, we didn't. We still got a little knot right there. And my hair just really only knots up, it feels like, when it's not as moisturized as it ought to be. There we go. But anyway, as we were talking, mind you, it got a little bit more crowded and she had to come in a little closer. We were both closer. Forgot to put more setting lotion back there. And at that point, I noticed that, you know, this pretty girl, pretty figure, gorgeous smile had bad breath. And I think I was shocked because at first I smelled it. I almost asked her if she smelled something. But for some reason, I knew not to. Held it back. Because I was like, she and I have been talking and I haven't been smelling this. And now, you know, now that it's gotten more crowded, I'm suddenly, you know, getting this odor that is not good. And it smells like decay. Like you know how you can smell a cat. I had an ex once and I had to tell him, you have to go to the dentist. He comes back and he's like, well, how did you know? Because rot has a distinct smell. I was like, yeah, I could smell your cavity. Like, who better to smell it or tell it than me? And I was so glad he took it well because, you know, some people get highly offended. That being the case, I did not tell this woman about her breath. And I kind of wondered, dang, did that guy smell it? Because, like I said, I thought they were a couple. He seemed kind of interested. And I thought I saw him lean in at one point. He must have leaned in and smelled what I smelled and just lost interest or something. But it made me feel kind of bad not telling her because I was like, what? I'm not a friend, but what kind of woman? Like, I consider myself to be a girl's girl. That has kind of bothered me, which is why I'm bringing it up. But I've considered myself to be a girl's girl, and yet I did not tell her that. So I don't know. I feel kind of bad about that. But I think it's important that, you know, we maintain ourselves and get it together, not just look good, but make sure we're doing the ins and the outs. I tell you what, though, I'm talking all this stuff, and it's so funny. The other week, I was having a payday candy bar. Of course, it has all kind of peanuts in it. And my granddaughter was like, Mimi, your breath. I smell like peanuts. That's one thing. It's one thing to smell like a food. Kids tell the truth, don't they? But it's one thing to smell like a food you've eaten. It's another thing to just not be maintained and keep it together. So in the case of that woman, I couldn't quite understand that. Maybe nobody's ever told her. Or maybe is that a hazard of veneers? I thought, I don't have them, but I feel like I've seen a clip of it before. I thought what they did was shave your teeth down and then fit them over your teeth. And I guess in my mind, they would have filled in whatever the tooth thing is to make sure that there could be no rotting. I don't really know, but I do know this woman's breath was not on par. I feel like that's part of a maintain. And her nails, like I don't know. I guess to me that's something real basic. And I know I've said it before, but it just bears repeating. It is worth it to me. Like when we have our medical insurance and stuff, it's worth it to us to use it, to me to use it. Like, get all your stuff done. I say that and I am due. Oh my gosh, I can't stand it. But I know I'm due for a colostomy. Colostomy, is that what it's called? Colonoscopy. Lord help me. But I'm due for a colonoscopy. And I hate those because if you've never had it, I'm not even going to pretend that it's comfortable. I'm not going to pretend it's a nice procedure. But I will say this. I feel like it's better than the alternative. I've seen people fight that cancer fight, and it's a horrible fight. And drinking that stuff, because it's kind of like you gotta, For some people, they drink a slime. For me, it's the diarrhea and the cramping and all that stuff that comes with it. And it's not a whole lot. It's just a matter of your body trying to absolutely empty out every drop of poop that's in there that makes it uncomfortable. So that when they go up there with the camera, you know, they can cleanly and clearly see. Yeah, I don't love it, but I'm due for it. And I'm going to have to buckle under and do it. Now, I will say that I was probably due this spring. I have been putting it off to the summer. It's just a hard procedure for me to do and work. Because there's some amount of fasting and all that stuff and a whole lot of pooping. And for me to go to the bathroom, you know, I can't leave the kids. So I have to call for an escort and have someone come and, you know, hopefully they're not too busy. It doesn't take 5 or baby, that stuff when you're taking it, it doesn't give you the 5 or so minutes that you might want. And I'm sure I could have scheduled it over my spring break, but dang, that spring break is only but so long. I wanted my time. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do that this summer. All that said, please make sure you keep up with your things as well. Even if it's a dermatology visit, like this thing on my face, I don't know what that is, but I'm at this point ready to seek dermatology care in, see my elbows and things like that. I was looking at a video and I was like, you know, not everybody has dark elbows. Not everybody has dark knuckles. I need to look into seeing whether or not, I think it was I was doing my nails. And I said, you know, I think I want to look into seeing about getting that fixed. Now, here I am in my big old age of 50, and I'm still interested in showing up as my very best self and as still showing up and getting the things done or fixed that I don't like. One thing I've done too is, I've shared this with you before, but I've gotten Botox. So the interesting thing, I'm never gonna finish my hair if I keep stopping and talking. But anyway, I'm gonna stop and talk for just a second. The interesting thing about getting the Botox is when I got it, he's not an esthetician. What is he? Plastic surgeon. Girl, I don't know what's wrong. Wine must be kicking in. But the plastic surgeon was like, what I told him I wanted was I wanted my 11s. They call them the 11s because if I didn't have the Botox, you would see 2 lines in the middle of my head, right? So I got a shot here, and then a shot here and there. And he was going to go across the whole forehead. And I didn't want my whole forehead done because I still want to be able to, you know, make expressions. I can lift my left eyebrow easily, but my right one, for some reason, and that's not Botox, it's always been that way, but for some reason, I almost have to close my left eye. Like I want to keep my left eye open and raise. I don't think I did it, but I'm not looking in the mirror. But anyway, I still wanted to be able to make expressions to, you know, what you're talking about, Willis, do all of that. And he was like, well, you know, when you do that, it kind of creates an imbalance. And it can look a little deformed or something if you have that imbalance. Like it may deaden one area of your forehead and it makes the other one hyperactive is how he described the imbalance as being. Y'all see all that tangle? There we go. Smooth that out. And so I was like, you know what? I'll run the risk of that. I haven't seen any negative side effects. I like the way it looks. In fact, I kind of wish I could get Botox around my mouth because when I talk, I speak too much with expression. I even pull more so on one side. But I tell you what, putting this retainer in my mouth, it kind of makes me want to talk deader. A lot of times there are men who speak in a more effeminate manner. And to me, it kind of sounds as if they're talking with a piece of candy under their mouth. But the thing that they do well is they don't move their face. So yes, darling, we are going to kind of do the piece of candy talk. And we'll see. That doesn't sound right. It doesn't even feel right. Wait. But I do. I want to talk with less expression because I feel like it's going to age me. But anyway, he was telling me that it can pull my forehead a certain way. And I was like, you know what? I'll try it anyway because I can always go back and get more as opposed to getting it taken out. And when I also mentioned that I wanted it something around my mouth, he was like, no, I'm absolutely not doing that because, you know, you end up drooping or something can look real crazy there. So cool. I trust your judgment on that. What the heck is going on in the back of my head? Excuse me, y'all. I got to detangle some of this. Because goodness. But I felt kind of bad going back to the lady. I don't know if I finished that thought or not, because y'all know I will hop thoughts like I'm hopping trains. But going back to her, I felt kind of bad that I didn't tell her that that's probably a thing, because I'm not going to kid you. I just recently met a man in Aldi, African man at that. And I know some people have their theories about, girl, don't date no African man. I have a hard time believing things like that about my people. Like I do. I have a hard time believing the things that people say in general about black people. But anyway, I met him in Aldi. He seemed like a nice enough guy. But baby, his breath. I was so glad he gave me his card. I didn't even have to give him that Google number or nothing. His breath was it was horrendous. It smelled like he had several rotten teeth in his mouth. And you know what? I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm a person, I mentioned my granddaughter and the peanuts, but I'm a person who enjoys garlic when I eat certain foods. You can tell the difference between someone who's eating garlic. You can even tell the difference between someone who's eating onions and someone who just has rot or something going on in their mouth. And that's what that guy had, and quite a bit of it. But that's enough for me. That's enough of a deterrent for me. So I felt like that woman's breath probably was holding her back. But anyway, over at Cooper's Hawk, another good conversation had. Another, I don't know. I just feel like it's a good time for me to meet people and things like that. It served as a good distraction. As you may have guessed through my community posts and stuff like that, I've been going kind of through it for different reasons, different things going on in different areas. And that just helps for me, getting out about, meeting some different people, because sometimes you don't always want to unload and burden on your friends, not even on YouTube for that matter. And you just need that getawayness. So that was good for me. Did a little bit of retail therapy. I ended up with a purse that I'm not altogether crazy about. If you saw my previous video, you would have seen that. Oh, come to think of it, that purse isn't all that I bought. Just showing you my whole head view. Sometimes some people are curious. Hope I didn't miss any hairs. But what else did I buy? And see, you know what? I must not have needed it too much. Well, no, that's not true. I'm looking at it and I did need some of this stuff. So also at TJ Maxx, I got these bras. And I tell you what, I am not at all the biggest fan of bras and stuff with foam in them, but here's my dilemma. A lot of times I wear those nipple pad things. Why am I getting ready to get them like y'all don't know what I'm talking about? Sit down, girl. But you know, I've slipped those in my bras. But when I wear my thin bras, t-shirt bras, stuff like that, you can see the ring. And so I'm grabbing my makeup. So it sits there looking like this great big ring covering my nipple, and I don't like that either. So I don't exactly want to look like I'm giving directions or directing traffic all the time, but I don't want the big rings either. So I ended up getting those bras, and I feel like they're gonna make me feel hot, because I sometimes have a problem with a little bit of under boobs. We'll see. We'll see. But those are the first padded bras I've bought, y'all, in decades. It's been just that long. But I also don't like going in those areas. It's about to be summertime. The air is going to hit me. It's going to be cold and I'll be directing traffic. But anyway, I also went to the cosmetics. Where did that come from, child? I went to the cosmetics company store and I had a sample of the Better Than Sex. So now I got this mascara and it's called Damn Girl. Now with a name like that, it really needs to deliver. And it's 24 hours. So we're gonna see about this. This was half price. What the half was, I didn't forgot. I think it was $8. That's pretty expensive for mascara. But it was $16. That's super crazy. And then I got these nails at TJ Maxx too. As you can see, I don't know if you can see those or not. But they're like an iridescent pearly kind of color. I took off the other ones. They were just too long and doing too much. Child, at first, I could get off 8 of the nails, but I couldn't get these 2 off. I guess I needed to be saying, what's T, what's T, what's T? But it was these 2 that were stuck on, and I cut them down and still couldn't get them off. But finally, I got them off. And then I'm trying this one. It's called Long-Term Bubblegum. I just like a lip plumper. I don't know what it is. And I'm starting to suspect that maybe as I've gotten older, is losing volume in your lips a thing, I wonder? Because I feel like sometimes my lips don't look as plumpidiferous as I would like. Yeah, I made that word up. That's okay. But I ended up buying 2 of those just to kind of keep things plump and juicy. The Damn Girl, like I said, and then the nails I got from TJ Maxx. These were like $10. The lip plumper, I do not recall what the price was. I felt like it was more than I wanted to pay, but less than it is in the stores, because I showed y'all that NYX or NYX that I like getting. It went from $8 to $10. I saw it somewhere for $16. I can't remember where that was, but I feel like still at Ulta it's like $12 or so. How do you go up $4? That's a third of the price. How y'all go up that much? And has it been 2 months? I don't know what that is, but I know this wasn't $12. Like all of it, because it all came to about 30. So I bet these were 8 each, and this was 8. Yeah. So it was under 30, I should say that. But that's what I got the other day when I was out and about doing my little shopping. That's what I got. That's all I'm talking about. We have set my hair. I need to go sit under the dryer for a little bit. And that's one good thing about my hair being shorter too. It dries much faster. And then after that, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Y'all, what is this? Look at this. Look at my hair. I took time out of my ever-dwindling life to set my hair. Huh? What happened? I must have looked in my rearview mirror, because I ain't looked at myself all day. I got kids. I looked in the rearview mirror thinking I was getting ready to go to somebody's Cooper house, looking like, no, I'm not, no, this, it ain't got no shot. It's just, it's so humid. And then these little things right here, this wasn't doing this in the morning. In the morning, this was cute. It was curly. It was like I was already having to work with it because it's getting some length on it, so it doesn't quite snap and curl, but it has some bounce. This ain't no bounce. This ain't no bounce. I'm too frustrated, so I guess we're gonna spend the evening. You know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of, it wasn't Off the Wall. It was not Off the Wall. It was one of the Michael Jackson albums where he had the 4 little pieces of hairs or something coming down. That's what it was. I mean, but it wasn't Thriller. I feel like it wasn't Thriller. I can't remember what the album, I cannot believe I can't remember what the album of Thriller looked like. But I look like I could have been in Thriller. Like, what is this? I'm not happy. I guess it does have a little bit, it got a little shine, but it still look a mess. I'm too mad about that. Waste of time. Other than talking with y'all, waste of time. Look at this. This is not how I left the house. And I used to talk bad about my daughter. I used to do her hair. It would be so cute. She'd go to recess, come home off the bus, and I'm like, what happened to your hair? This is not how I sent you. This is not how I sent me. This is just a whole mess. Whatever.